it's Sam here, and this is another episode of my journey through bowel cancer. Now, first of all, I'd just like to say how sorry I am that I haven't made a video for quite a while. It's been quite a roller coaster, actually. One thing with this horrible disease is that it pulls you from one direction to another. There's ups and there's downs, and I just, to be honest, haven't felt like I'm kind of in the mood to make a video sometimes. But today I'm going to make a video. I'm up for it. I'm actually on a break from the chemotherapy at the moment, so I'm actually feeling a lot better. Energy levels have returned, and despite the fact that I've got a little bit of a sniffle, you can probably hear that, I think I'm in pretty good shape. The final round of chemo, I hope it's the final round of chemo, starts on Thursday. And like I said, it's been a real journey so far, being pulled from left to right, up and down, emotionally and physically. One thing that happened recently was that I had got a bit of a chest infection, which meant that I had to go into hospital. The thing is, if you have a temperature over, I think it's 37.5 degrees, they kind of get really worried because they don't want you to pick up a life-threatening infection and become what's known as neutropenic, I think, which is where your white blood cell count is reduced. So I had a chest infection. This is going back a few weeks now. Later on Sunday evening, temperature went over 38. We called them up and they had to put me into hospital for a day, and I had a IV of antibiotics and got over the chest infection pretty quick. So that was actually good and positive. And in fact, the whole chemotherapy process hasn't been too bad. Of course, it's affected me. I've been tired, haven't been able to sleep as well as I usually can. But I haven't asked to have the dose reduced or anything like that. I'm coping with the process, although of course it is having its side effects. Like principally, it's the lack of energy and also the nerve damage. It means that my hands sometimes go into spasm, which isn't pleasant. So, excuse me. So anyway, there's been some good news and some bad news. In fact, I think I mentioned on the last video that I had this scan around my abdomen because they were concerned that the cancer had actually spread into the peritoneum. And in fact, we found out after that scan, after that PET scan, that indeed that's what exactly had happened, and it had gone into the peritoneum, but only actually in 3 very small locations. So we're confident that we can actually do something about that. The oncology team are confident that that can be cured. So after this final round of chemotherapy, I'll be going over, I hope, I still have to check the scans, but I hope to be going over to the very famous hospital in Basingstoke, and they specialize in this particular type of surgery, which is called a HIPEC surgery. Now, it's no walk in the park, as I understand. It's quite a large surgery, but I'm hoping that I'll be selected for that surgery and that I'll go ahead and have this operation later on in the year just to mop up the rest of those cancerous deposits. And they are really small, just 3 small locations around my peritoneum. But it is a bit of an epic surgery. So, but the good news is, I'm trying to focus on the good news at the moment, is that the chemotherapy is nearly over. Just one more round to go. I go to the hospital on Thursday, and then I'll have a treatment for 2 further weeks, and then that's it, hopefully. And then we're going on a little break, glamping with the family. So just trying to keep the chin up and concentrate on the positives going forward. Now, one thing that did put me in a bit of a state, a little bit of a bad mood, really, and got me a little bit down, was Googling stuff. And it really is not helpful to do this when you've got cancer, to Google, because all you hear is the horror stories. So I've had to be very strict with myself now and tell myself not to do that, not to Google anything, certainly around bowel cancer. The oncologists have told me that there's a lot of nonsense written about on Google. And the surgery, the technologies that are becoming available now, including this wonderful HIPEC surgery, really are a big game changer when it comes to bowel cancer treatment. So I just wanted to say that if you are going through this journey, please try and stay away from Google and concentrate on the positive support which is out there. I've joined 2 really good Facebook groups, one which is for people under 50 who have got bowel cancer, and one is people who have stage 4 bowel cancer, which now it's gone into the peritoneum means that my cancer is now stage 4. So it's great to have that support. I'm really finding that useful, talking to other people who are going through the same kind of issues and reaching out to them and them reaching out to me. And that's been really, really good and really helpful. And another thing that's been actually quite inspiring, but also a little bit depressing, I won't lie, is the story of Deborah James. This has been all over the news. Obviously, many of you will have heard her story and how she was diagnosed with bowel cancer. Her bowel cancer was a lot more severe than mine, and genetically it was very, very different from mine. So, but sadly, she's in a position now where she's just in a palliative situation, and she's at home, but ultimately she is going to pass away, and that's a really sad story. She's raised over £6 million over bowel cancer, which is absolutely wonderful, and that's going to make a real change and help for people going forward. And it's wonderful that these new technologies are coming along and that bowel cancer is becoming more and more treatable. Anyway, so I just thought I'd make this video today just to update you on how I'm doing. I'm still going through the chemo, but that's just about to end. Fantastic. It's been like, 4 cycles, so they are cumulative and they get worse each time, but I hope I've coped with it quite well. I've actually lost a bit of the weight that I put on from the steroids, and I'm actually feeling in pretty good shape apart from this cold. So just get this out of the way, this last chemotherapy round, and I'll make another video about the next steps, but hopefully things are moving in the right direction and we've got a lot to look forward to. Anyway, that's it from me. It's great to have you on the channel. If you're watching this for the first time and you'd like to subscribe just to get the next video when it comes up, just press the subscribe button and the notification button and you'll hear more from me. But that's it for now. Many thanks. This is Sam Francis. It's my journey through bowel cancer. Thank you for joining me today.